Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another live stream. We're going to be talking about Binance and Fractal Bitcoin's secret connection. That is correct. There is a correlation here as I set up the software. You don't want to miss this one. We're led to believe that these Fractal Bitcoin related projects very well has a good chance of being listed on Binance, ladies and gentlemen. Do share this with everybody. We're coming live on YouTube and also Twitter. So yeah, just give me about 2 minutes here as I set things up on the fly and we'll get this rolling. You know, for me, it's mainly about fundamentals when it comes to crypto, right? I think TA is okay, but until the markets get a little bit more mature, TA today in crypto could only take you that far. And it really does come down to these fundamentals. So we're going to be discussing. Do smash the like buttons if you're on Twitter. Also, if you're on YouTube, that helps out the video, the live stream quite a bit. Also share this and drop your comments. We do have a live chat conducting right now on Twitter. I don't think many people know that. Anybody could chat there. Just click the description. The live chat should populate and we take it from there. But why do we always ask each other or say, oh, it's going to Binance. This token is going to be listed on Binance? Because normally things that get listed on Binance is open up to a wider landscape of traders or audience, right? Who then gets interested and starts to trade things, right? And then normally from there, you see on average like a 25% pump in 24 hours or less. And then over the course of a few weeks, it could even explode further. So this is why when we talk about Binance and we talk about tokens listing there, people are always, giddy for that. Now, I think this is something that the particular standard right now, which is Runes, is missing. They don't have the Binance effect just yet. Maybe it'll come later, but as of now, not so much. So, people want to know, when is DOG going to be listed on Binance? When is ABC token going to be listed? Well, this is why today's presentation is very important for you to understand that there is a connection between Unisat, Fractal Bitcoin, right? If you don't know, Unisat team are the ones behind this, okay? Along with, I believe it's Block Space, okay? And there is a correlation here. So I'm going to show you guys this. This is pretty interesting things. So let's get right on with the program. But let's first look at Bitcoin price. As you can see, Bitcoin's at about 61,000, 60K. I mean, as I tell y'all, please don't trip. This is the dip before the rip, okay? This is the dip before the rip. Please don't trip. It's almost like a miner who mines gold in the, deserts of the Sahara Desert or whatever, in India. And they're digging for the last 3 months. And then they're about maybe 6 feet away from striking gold and they want to give up. You don't want to give up right now because we're led to believe in Q4, which is in about 2 months or so, things are going to drastically change for the better. We're going to see all of these things, come to life here with Bitcoin, all the positive news we had. So you don't want to miss out on Q4. Things are going to get bonkers. Maybe this may go into latest Q1. I'm led to believe. Right, where we see this really start to proliferate and things skyrocket. We see the halving pay dividends, right, from earlier in April, and things were going to affect then. But this live stream rather, is not about the price of Bitcoin. This is about the correlation between Binance and Fractal Bitcoin, which is the next big thing here in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So let's get on with it. Right here, this is Binance.com, okay? This is their Square post. This is their version, their own Medium article, but not on Medium. This is where they publicize a bunch of different things covering a vastly different areas. So Binance Labs leads a major funding round for Bitcoin wallet Unisat, okay? So Unisat wallet, once again, Unisat is the team behind Fractal Bitcoin. A browser extension wallet has successfully completed a pre-round A of financing, a complete round of financing, okay? A pre-A round of financing, rather. This strategic round was led by the global crypto exchange giant Binance incubation arm, Binance Labs. Massive, right there. The announcement was made by Unisat on X, formerly Twitter. As we go on to say, Binance Labs and Unisat partnership. Unisat's announcement read, "We are excited to share that at Binance led the Unisat pre-A round, which was completed in May 2024, about 2 months ago. This strategic investment strengthens the ongoing technical and business partnership between both parties, lays a solid foundation for even greater collaboration in the future. Moreover, this investment marks a pivotal moment for Unisat, which has emerged as a prominent player in the Bitcoin ordinals and BRC20 service sector. For context, the wallet offers users a seamless experience in managing their Bitcoin and ordinals. In addition, it emphasizes security and ease of use. The collaboration between Binance Labs and Unisat, ladies and gentlemen, you need to pay attention to this, signifies a strong partnership aimed at driving technological advancements and expanding business opportunities within the Bitcoin ecosystem. However, with the specific amount of the investment remains undisclosed. Binance's venture capital and incubation arm, Binance Labs, has a history of strategic investments. Moreover, it aims to encourage innovation and growth in the cryptocurrency market. This investment in Unisat aligns with Binance Labs' broader strategy of supporting infrastructure that, you hear that? In supporting infrastructure that enhances the functionality and accessibility of blockchain technologies. And the last paragraph says, Unisat's journey to this milestone has been marked by significant developments and strategic moves. Last year in July, Wu Blockchain reported that Unisat Wallet was raising funds at a valuation of $50 million. The report highlighted that Binance Labs was in communication with Unisat and some investors had already been finalized. So right there and then, I don't do clickbaits, right? Right there and then, you have seen a direct correlation, literally a direct correlation with Unisat and Binance. They are investors. Why is this massive? Well, why is it massive to list a token on Binance? It's the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, as we've already established, right? And I told you why that's important. So now when you have that same entity, essentially, the exchange or Binance Labs, which is the investment arm, invest in the actual company of Unisat, you don't think they want to see that investment, be successful or be the best it could be? Of course. And you don't think that how they will try to assist in that regard? I mean, they can't be too biased, right? And have that influence shifted there because they're financially invested, but they do try to help them out as much as possible. That's why it's extremely important to note that Binance is investors for Unisat Wallet. And as the article expressed to us, it's about the infrastructure. So I think most of you guys here may be thinking, oh, it's because of pizza. I think Binance gave some pizza tweets or something like that, right? It's not about pizza. It's actually about Fractal Bitcoin, which is the infrastructure. It's a new framework. It's an extension of Bitcoin. It's going to make things faster, things cheaper, DeFi-like trading. That's the type of stuff the smart money people like the Binance Labs of the world is interested in. They're not really interested into meme coins, okay? And when you look at the current standards out there, and the reason why again, I'm not trying to pick on anything, but that's just what the example is. That's just what's in the market. The current standards out there, they're not getting this type of investments from the world's largest exchange, right? Or one of the world's most respectful cryptocurrency investment arms like a Binance Labs, or maybe a ABCDE, or maybe a OKX Ventures, right? Things of this nature, or maybe a Water Drip Capital, things of this nature. They're just not, okay? So this is important, and I'm going to tell you why this is important. And I always go off of historical data. I don't really go from my opinions. I will do research based off what happened in the past, and things that happens in the past, the way they formulate, normally tends to happen in the present and the future. And then I use a quantified judgment, or an educated judgment to see what could happen next. That's just how trendsetter ventures do it. That's why we're called trendsetters. So let's go on to the next slide. Do leave your questions in the live chat if you're on YouTube or if you may be on Twitter, okay? So carrying on over here. Well, we saw this happen in the past. Binance announces ordinals already listing, okay? Now, does this mean that we will see Fractal Bitcoin projects get listed here? I don't think it's going to come like, gangbusters, one right after the other. But let me tell you, I think there's going to be a couple, at least 2, 3 at the beginning, if they're serious and if they're, like the FB token, which is the Fractal Bitcoin native token, I think that has a great chance of getting listed on Binance at some point. Now, Binance, aren't no strangers when it comes to listing BRC20 tokens, as we saw over here. So Binance announces ordinals already listing token surges 50% in reaction. Okay, this was dated on November 7th of 2023. So it seems as though that we see this similar effect of possibly Binance, Unisat wallet, and China coming together. And BRC20. At the end of the day, one would say that Unisat is a BRC20 and ordinals service provider, but they also offer runes. And they're also going to allow runes to be compatible with Fractal Bitcoin. So they really are a Bitcoin ecosystem service provider, right? But they are, more known for the BRC20 aspect there, side of things. Okay? So we've already seen Binance list BRC20 tokens. And what happened around this date of November 7th, right? Now, already went parabolic prior to that, but this is where it really started to took off, obviously, right? Like once it gets listed, as you can see, we're in about November 13th of 2023. And, things was at what, $12, as you can see right there on the 8th. It got listed on the 7th. And then in a few weeks, we saw this mofo go all the way up to $83, making, people who minted already at 0.003 cents over 26,000x, literally. As I mentioned, I actually saw when Ordi was being minted. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I actually plugged it in. I put in some wrong information. I never got tokens. Stupid me. But that's besides the point. So we see now Binance already historically did this. We saw the positive impact that had immediately, as I just showed you here. What is next? Well, this is what comes next. On December 18th of 2023, the same article from Binance.com reports, you may have heard, right? So BRC20 tokens are currently blowing up in China. December 18th. You may have heard of BRC20 tokens, inscriptions on ordinals. Basically, someone found a way to make tokens on it and NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. That someone is Domo. Please don't say someone. Well, at least the token side, right? The NFTs was Casey, right? And respect to both of those guys for doing that. Both these BRC20 tokens are absolutely taking off in China right now. Okay, that's what matters. Okay, and I got to be honest with y'all, that is pretty much the missing ingredient for runes right now. That's where I'm stagnant, And this report comes in on December 18th, so about a month or so, just over a month after already got listed on Binance. But let me tell you, China was already on that, right? I guess it was for a number of different things. Number one, maybe because this was the first time ever tokens could be traded on Bitcoin. First time ever, like what Domo Duck said yesterday on our live stream, first is first. That always maintains and holds its upkeep in value, right? So China saw that, but when it got listed on Binance, right, it really took it to whole new heights in terms of not just the price, but even more people coming in from Asia. And if you've ever been in crypto for even the last bull run in 2020, 2021, but even in 2017, for those who have been here since that time, that we have a saying that goes like this, right? It's, I'm here in the I'm here in the West, but Eastern Standard Time in Canada, and around, say, 7 p.m., it's about 7 a.m. in China. The saying always goes like this: when you see the graph starts going, mad green, and Bitcoin is, you're just going up crazy by, 5K or whatever, what do we say? China's awake. Meaning that how they're trading the shit out of this, and that holds true. And let's not forget Korea. You got Upbit, you got BitHump, right? That what's their thing? The KWR, when that thing's trading crazy against Bitcoin, Asia's awake. And if you don't have Asia involved in your tokens, brother, you are leaving a tremendous amount of food on the table, right? In terms of you're missing out, and you need to get them on board. So this is what I'm saying, that with Fractal coming to market here in September, that should align with bullish markets, right? Maybe, maybe not. But, they're fixing real issues. They are invested by Binance. China's going to be on this. I just don't see how this thing doesn't go in the direction that my brain is trying to tell me here, which is going to be bullish times. I just don't see that. But let's carry on here, all right, with actual Fractal, which is right here. So we go to fractalbitcoin.io, and that's going to take us to this part of the website here. Well, fractalbitcoin.io /about. And what is the utility of the Fractal Bitcoin, right? The Fractal token. So the Fractal token is called FB, Fractal Bitcoin, okay? And it enables transaction fees, access to nodes and services, project launchpads, layers on top of Fractal, and ecosystem stewardship, right? So they do have a token. Right? And we've saw in the past, Binance listing BRC20 tokens. We saw that how Binance is invested into Unisat. I mean, I think like we're always talking about when is dog going to be listed on Binance. I mean, I think there's any token that's going to be listed on Binance, it might be Fractal Bitcoin at this point. And like, I'm not saying that's going to happen on day one. I think that could happen maybe 3 months or less into it. So you might want to get some of this Fractal Bitcoin token, which I don't have any, so you can't say I'm biased. It doesn't even exist on the market, right? So it's fair game. It's, you know, maybe a TGE thing, right? Token generation event. You just go get it, find your entry point, and do your thing. But, I mean, one would expect if there's any token from the Bitcoin ecosystem that could be listed on Binance, it has to be the FB token right now. Okay, well, when I say now, it's not live now, but you know what I mean? Like, if we were to put this alongside any other token in the ecosystem, whatever that may be, that has the best chance possible of being listed on Binance, it's going to be Fractal Bitcoin at this point, okay? When that goes live next month, by the way, for those who are asking. I mean, at least I'm guessing it goes live next month. I know that how they are pretty confident in their assessment on when the extension, which is Fractal Bitcoin, right? They're calling it an extension of Bitcoin. You could call it layer 2 if you want, sidechain, whatever you want, right? But when that implementation goes live in September, one should expect the token to follow suit. Okay, so this is why I'm saying September for everybody who's been asking me, how do we get Fractal Bitcoin? Your chance should come in September. Once again, do leave your questions, concerns, or comments in the live chat. I'll come there very shortly. And I get it. You guys are saying, well, that's great, Francis. Awesome stuff. I didn't know that how Binance invested into Fractal. Ordi is not a Fractal token, right? You only show me BRC20 stuff, although that is relevant because BRC20, right, is pretty much Unisat. You're probably like, well, I want a reference with Binance and Fractal Bitcoin themselves. Not a reference of Binance and BRC20s, which is pretty much a link to Unisat. Not a reference of Binance and, Unisat wallet investment. I want a direct link of some description with Fractal and Binance. Well, don't worry, I got you covered. So once again, we head on back over to Binance.com, their Square posts. And about 5 days ago or so, on July 28th of 2024, they reported Fractal Bitcoin to reset test phase for stability. Okay, now they go on to tell us, according to O'Daily, Fractal Bitcoin, a Bitcoin expansion solution. You see that? They're not calling it a layer 2, but it's not a fork, right? A Bitcoin expansion solution is what they're officially going by, announced on the X platform that it will reset the test phase on July 29th, 2024 at 8 a.m. to provide a more stable testing experience. The entire process is expected to take approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so now, although things are pretty quiet and hush-hush and on the down low key, if you will, with Fractal Bitcoin, Binance is paying attention to it, right? Binance is paying attention to it. And I feel as though if you really look at the ecosystem and, I've actually spent a lot of money traveling to Hong Kong. I went there twice in 3 weeks a couple months ago, and I saw firsthand, face to face, and I got the vibe and I felt it, that OKEX Ventures was leading the way, right? When it comes to this entire Bitcoin ecosystem, investments, building, pushing them, helping them, right? With the Bitcoin layer 2s especially, right? Merlin Chain, we got BitLayer, we got, the BitSmileys of the world and all those other camps that's doing good work on the layer 2 side of things. And that's where OKEX was. But it appears as though Binance is coming for, the layer 1 side of things, right? I believe they invested into, I don't know if it was Portal, which is essentially not even a layer 2, but it's like this interoperable atomic swap rather. They invested into somebody. Oh yeah, Binance invested into. Oh man, I forget that damn protocol. It's like bridging. Forget their damn name. But anyways, yeah, they did invest into one. But then again, that was a layer 2. So yeah, that's only one. So they seem to be very fascinated with the unisats and native Bitcoin stuff. Okay, so that does bode well for us over here. Let me carry on to my next slide, which is right here. Yeah. So, and this is where it gets interesting, right? So I'm kind of blocking it, but this is on the Fractal Bitcoin page. Unisat and Block Space Force, the core contributors, have developed protocols and applications that have been used by millions of users around the world, which is true. Unisat garnered quite a large number of people, and Blockspace, I believe they are. I think they do some developing, but they also are a investment firm. Don't quote me on that, but I think they are. As an open ecosystem, Fractal warmly welcomes everyone who is eager to improve the Bitcoin blockchain and its ecosystem. And right here, we have a Fractal ecosystem coming soon tab. You click that, it doesn't really, there's nothing there at the moment. But again, I'm led to believe that when we see some quality projects coming to Fractal Bitcoin, that means business. I got something tangible. They're not just only about memes. We're going to see utility rise again. I mean, look, we had a lot of fun with memes, right? People be making money. Some people be losing money. It's all about that adrenaline rush, I guess, for some people, right? It's not really about making the money, but they're having fun at the end of the day. But when it's all said and done, I think that fun is going to, all good things come to an end. And I think what's going to really be on the forefront is these type of utilities and tokens on Fractal Bitcoin. That's just how I see it. I think Binance is pretty much telling us the same things over here. So that's what I wanted to really share with you guys when it comes to this correlation. And if you like tokens being listed, if you like holding bags before it gets listed on a big exchange like Binance, like I do, you might want to look into the Fractal Bitcoin ecosystem, or maybe just the FB token, if you think the people who invested into them, which is Binance Labs, might have a chance of actually listing them on their exchange like I do. Now, with that throat clearing out the way, I will visit the live chat. What's up, guys? Any questions, let me know. Matty Verse, what's up, Matty Verse? How you doing, brother? Thank you so much for joining us. We also have Level Zero Gaming. Bless up, broski. Emmy here. What's up, Emmy? We got Chief AXL here. We got SCAD. Oh, SCAD. Lick a bit of money, boy. SCAD is in the house. Thinking. Anyways, Francis, I love you. The Saxy Crypto Lifestyle. Holy shit. And it's a girl. Thank you. I even if you're a guy, I'll take that compliment too. All good. Fractal versus Tap. Look. Thank you for the question, and anybody in Twitter, I'll come to Twitter live chat very shortly. I would say this. Now, when it comes to Tap, I think they're trying hard over here. I gotta be honest, I'm not the Tap expert. I think, and I'm just being honest here. I just love to be honest with people. I speak my mind. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Now, with Tap, I believe they got a lot of things going on there, right? From somebody who's unbiased, and I have nothing against them like that. I know I was very objective with my assessment on them earlier on how they were doing things. I don't really care about that. But if we were to talk about what they're doing, I think they're hardcore devs. They mean well, and they're trying to build something. But with that being said, I think there's a lot of confusion there from the naked eye or from a newbie who doesn't know anything about Tap. I think they got Tap, they got Nat, they got Pipe. They got Track. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in that camp, right? I know you asked about Tap, but when you hear Tap, I think a number of different protocols comes to mind that's related to the same team. And that's where the confusion could lay. I mean, I don't know why they're not really getting the traction in terms of the awareness as they should. They've been there since the beginning, right? The Track guys. And I feel as though the marketing awareness is still where it was last year. It hasn't really grown as much. A little bit, maybe a little bit more, but not as much. And that could be one of their pitfalls, not a downfall. A pitfall in the sense of, one could say a pitfall is a downfall, but a downfall I think is like unsalvageable havoc. A pitfall is just a hurdle in the way. So I think they could fix that, right? That's the main thing. They need to fix that. Get some freaking people talking about it more. I think the Block Runner guys speak about it. That's fine. They're doing great work too. I think Ordinal's Revolution is speaking about it too, but for some reason, it's not really moving the needle. So that's all I would say, right, about Tap and Fractal. I think, when you say Fractal versus Tap, at the end of the day, one could argue nobody really expected Unisat or BRC20 to change and advance and evolve to potentially go into this fractal Bitcoin state. And this is why we have the TAPs of the world, we have the CRBCs of the world, and all of these different standards and implementations. But lo and behold, it's almost like how I see all these other blockchains. All these other blockchains, right? Like you could generate assets on it, like NFTs, fungible tokens. And then you thought Bitcoin couldn't do that. Lo and behold, Bitcoin is showing us it could do that. So for me, it's like, I don't really care too much about much other blockchains because of that. They don't really matter as much. So I feel as though the same is true when we're talking about these standards. If BRC 22.0, where it all began, is going to show you that they're going to do what these standards are trying to do, if Fractal Bitcoin is going to show us that they're going to do things even better than what these current standards are trying to do, which they should have been out already, I kind of see them being irrelevant. And knowing that Binance is invested into Unisat, I mean, I think TAP has, some sort of collaboration with ICP. I love the technology with ICP. They're very close to Bitcoin in terms of how they do some sort of smart contract work. I forget how it works, the logic behind it, but I was very fascinated with that. And the canisters, super fast blockchain. I love it. I actually was, I got the airdrop from ICP a long time ago when it was Definity or whatever. Like literally, that's how they give out tokens. But ICP just has too much more developers than they do users. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Like you could develop the best product in the world. If you don't have users, you don't have eyes on it, it's really worthless. That's just the sad reality that we live in. And I feel as though that's where ICP stands right now. And similarly, TAP is kind of in a similar situation. Would that change? I hope so. Maybe I should dive deeper into TAP because I'm not the expert on TAP, to be honest. I'm not. But yeah, I'd like to see what they're offering. So your second part of that question was, is Fractal competing? By the way, guys, don't forget to smash the likes, follow, and bell notification buttons as well. I'll come to the Twitter live stream chats shortly. I want to be your intern. Go get me some coffee. I like it with 2 cream. Large with 2 cream. I would love for someone to be my intern and get me coffee every fucking day. Save me some gas. Mr. Shitty. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day, he says here. Let me see any other questions. Yes, FB is the ticker space. That is correct. If you're talking about the Fractal Bitcoin token, it is FB. Sorry, I seen something here. Yeah, so Tina's saying the validator license are selling out. I mean, that's great. Look, and that's what I was criticizing them on about last year around this time, I would say. Something along those, maybe about 6 months ago. I don't know if they were coming out with these validators, right? I mean, they were saying it, and nothing was really happening. People were saying it's the best use case, but again, that was in theory, it's the best use case, but they didn't really have that active use case like we did. And at the end of the day, this is the reality of it. The token that I created with my team and my developers is the first ever utility token on Bitcoin. People were saying track was, well, it wasn't active. You couldn't use it. It was in theory what will become of it at some point, and I don't even think today you can still use it. The actual track token. We're talking about high frequency utility as well. That's executionable by the user. That's automated and programmable. That's crazy, bro. Come on. And I'm very proud of that, but it's not about me. But yeah, to your point, if that's what they're doing, great then. I'm all for that. I'm all for real innovation, for real change, and tangible products. So if that's what they're building, I would love to know more about that. FB cap might already be too high when we get a chance to buy it. That is a good point, fair point by Space Cash, but we don't know that for certain. And I would love to know the vesting rounds because, you could have, let's just say the fully diluted value is something dumb like, I don't know, $1 billion. Let's just say that's the case. But what's the initial circulating supply? Right? You may have 1 billion tokens, but with the vesting and all that, there's only 2% of the supply circulating, right? And what's the math? You times the 2% of the supply times the price. That could be a low market cap of 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. Who knows? But we don't have those numbers available to us. But what I would say is I've seen, tokens conduct pre-sales and perform very well. In the last bull run, when I got into these pre-sales with these vestings, that's where I made most of my money. And I publicly said this, and I showed you guys, and I get my people in too. So I think when people are looking at vestings, I get it. You want all your tokens up front, but vesting is what mitigates dumps. So, and that's how it works throughout the traditional world, the TriFi world, traditional finance, and even in this world of crypto. You know, I mean, and I'll talk from experience with the last bull run. I thought I was near the top when I had some tokens that were being vested. Let's just call it 10% per month I'll get for the next 10 months to make 100%. And lo and behold, the token went up more. So if I had that at my disposal, I probably would have sold too early. So for me, I don't mind investing, but I know what your question is about. It's about like, what is the market cap going to be? And thank you for asking that question. This is the same question people should ask for certain tokens like Dog going live. What is the initial market cap? 300 million. It's quite a lot. It's very high. So that's a very, constructive criticism and good question to ask. Hey, what up? Love your shit. Hey, you know we do it around here, man. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate you. Let me head on over to Twitter. I don't know if people are talking over there or what. Don't want to leave them stranded. And it says loading. Okay, we got somebody here. Anything news on Portal to Bitcoin? Any news on Portal to Bitcoin? If you're talking about Portal, the actual the atomic swap protocol on Bitcoin, I'm super bullish on them. Don't know what's happening. I think they didn't go live as yet. That thing works the way they describe it, brother. Oh my god, that's all I'm using. That's all I'm using, straight up. For interoperability, right? For the most part. Long gone are the days of using a sex, right? If you could do that, if you could literally atomic swap from like say Bitcoin to freaking, I don't know, whatever you want. Cardano, if you're into that shit. That's amazing. Without going to a sex, I would love that. Yeah. Thanks, Francis. Love your honesty. Yeah, no problem, Tina Sexy Crypto. Crypto Lifestyle. I saw you took my old brand. It's okay. I don't use it anymore. Although that is my handle still on Twitter. Okay, what else do we got here? The fact, I don't know if this is positive or negative, but Colin says, this fractal Bitcoin is another noise from Francis, guys. Be wise. Well, I would say this, Colin, and thank you for your comment there. I would say this. What about the noise I was making about runes on day one? Saying, hey, be careful. I don't think you're going to make much money from this. People didn't. I mean, let's be honest here. A lot of people didn't make much money from that. I was making a lot of noise for that. Collins actually remind me of somebody, and I could go back to the chat and show you guys, when I was the first one to present BRC20 tokens to everybody, they were saying this is a scam. They're like, who paid you to say this? I'm like, yeah, Domo paid me to talk about Ordi. You know what I mean? So now we're seeing this come again here. This particular implementation should have the most legitimacy than anything you saw before, because it is the Unisat team invested by Binance, who first started BRC20 tokens, or who first started tokens to be traded on Bitcoin. If you can't take that and run with it, there's nothing else that's going to be more bullish when it comes to legitimacy, right, and reputation, right, from a team in this entire ecosystem. There's nothing else that could top that. So I get it. It's almost like people get on the wrong train and then off the wrong one. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck, well, BRC20 is when I was talking about it. Oh, that's probably a scam. Sure enough, it wasn't a scam. Sure enough, it blew up. Sure enough, the risk to reward was worth it. You were risking peanuts for a huge upside, and that's exactly how it played out. Then you want to, oh, fuck, I missed it on BRCs. Well, the next big thing is runes. And I'm like, nah, you don't want that rune shit. You don't want that rune shit. Everybody's like, attacking me, throwing rotten tomatoes and cabbages. Sure enough, runes was shit. It didn't do shit for you other than probably lost some capital. Who was telling you that? Me. And here I stand telling you about this. Like I said in my tweet, I brought you to the promised land with BRC20 tokens. There's no debate about that. Even my adversaries will agree with this. Okay? I waved the flag about runes. There's no debate about that. I that's well documented. I think a lot of people are wrecked with that. And I'm here to tell you, I am willing to take you back to the promised land with Fractal Bitcoin. And if you don't want to go to the promised land, that's fine. I don't care. You'll just watch me go to the promised land, like people did with BRCs. I messed around on that, so they folded into runes. That's my point of getting off the wrong train getting off a train onto the wrong one, and vice versa. I don't think you want to make that mistake here. All right. Again, is it guaranteed? Nothing's guaranteed in crypto, but you have to go with certain criteria and make a bet. And I'm betting on the Unisat team. I'm betting on Domo. I FOMO with Domo. No homo, you mofo. Just want to say that. I added the mofo part at the end. And you could state what you want. I'm fine with it. I'm open to it. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever your opinion is, feel free. What do we got here? Will we be able to get a good price? That I pray for. Yeah, I mean, look, I would say this, right? Fractal Bitcoin, obviously, I personally would want to have some of that, whatever that entry point is. But there's going to be other projects launching here that you need to pay attention to. Okay? That's what I would say. Okay? That's where I think potentially bigger opportunities may lay. Obviously, you got to be careful. You got to do your due diligence, do a proper, investigation, make sure the team is legit. I'll be playing a huge part in that aspect. But, I think if you really want to get the bang for your buck, you need the projects within the ecosystem. Fractal Bitcoin might have some other metrics tied into it that we are unaware of, right? As I said, the vesting, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't really like to shoot darts in the dark, but nonetheless, I will wait for some sort of retrace of some description when it comes to Fractal Bitcoin, and then I will go in and buy mines. Very similar to how I demonstrated this with Voya and Huhu. And these were secondary markets, and I've done this in real time on a live stream with you guys. You know what I mean? Literally, the first time I've ever bought Huhu, remember the first meme coin? I wonder what the first meme coin will be on Fractal. Not that I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually looking for service providers on Fractal. I'm looking for utility on Fractal. I'm looking for DeFi-like applications to invest in on Fractal. And maybe the first meme coin or the first ordinal collection or something, maybe. But anything after that, like the second ordinal collection, the second meme, I'm not really interested at all. No interest. The first, sure. Right? And when we look at Voya, that was on the secondary markets, meaning that how you just went, and you bought it on the markets. You didn't get into the pre-sale. You still did like an 18x with Voya or something like that, right? Or 16 to 18. I think who did just over 30x. And people want to talk about how nothing was made over there. Well, I don't know when you bought in, but you saw when I bought in just the same time as you in real time. So there's money to be made, guys. At the end of the day, let me ask you a question, loud and clear. I'm gonna come this angle. You do like making money, right? Okay, well, if you like making money, you might want to pay attention to Fractal Bitcoin. It's kind of like when Orange, remember Orange, the wallet? When we had access to Orange, right, in the pre-sale, what did I tell you guys? I could revisit that. I said, this has the potential to do 10x. Sure enough, what happened? It does a 14, 15x, right? So I'm looking at a similar opportunities over here. And by the way, for me personally, I got to admit, it's not really so much about the projects, which it is. I think I did a poll here, and I would love to see what you guys are. I think you guys are actually, and I'll come back to the live chat on Twitter. I do apologize. Here, on the poll I have here on my Twitter feed, it says, what excites you the most about Fractal Bitcoin? 4 options, okay, see? Number 1, 30-second blocks. Number 2, cheap transactions. Number 3, the cadence mining, which means you could mine on 2 chains at the same time, Bitcoin and Fractal, right? Or projects on Fractal. Right now, projects on Fractal out of 145 votes is up 44.8%, okay? That's what I'm looking at over here. So people are interested in the projects on Fractal just as much as I am. But I have to stress this. May sound boring, may sound lame, but this is the facts. For me, I don't we could have an infinity amount of projects launching somewhere, but if we don't have a shift in the trading experience, we don't have faster blocks and other aspects that still tries to restore the core values of Bitcoin, which is the SHA-256, still proof of work, still using Bitcoin Core code, we're not really, it's not going to be a paradigm shift. Okay? We're not going to go to the glory days. This potentially has that. And then you add on top of that projects on Fractal where, as you can see right here, most of you guys are looking forward to. I'll give that a like. That's what it's all about. But 30-second block confirmation is very important as well. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to head on over to the Twitter side here. See some people are now chiming in. What's up, Mark? Hey, Mark, how's it going, man? You're doing some great work covering NUSD. Appreciate you and the Bitcoin ecosystem, man. Thank you so much for also tagging me in your posts. Mark says, I'm always in the house. NUSD, there we go. I'm banned. Is one of my key watches, as you know. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm bullish on that too. I think, especially with Jack. I don't know. Jack gets a lot of flack for whatever reason. I don't get it. I think Jack is a highly intelligent person, and he's always on the right side of history for the most part. I think Jack was the first guy to create the first marketplace for ordinals, which is OrdSwap. He also was minting, the second guy to mint Ordi, bro. The hell? Crazy. And to know that how he's behind NUSD, I have no reason to believe, this thing could do pretty good. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, sorry. Mark Jeffrey says, I agree with Francis. Fractal Binance seems like it will come soon. He's right. They will ally and push this, right? I mean, that's where the common sense points, right? That's what common sense is telling me. Binance is investing to unisat because of Fractal, really, because they know that's their baby and they see the potential in it. And if they can help that by listing it and doing certain things, getting it more notoriety and awareness, of course they're going to do that. Mark also says getting Bitcoin-based tokens on DeFi rolling is a very rich vein to mine. Exactly. Aximade. How's it going, Aximade? Plebs like me who didn't get into the private raise looking for the best proxy to Fractal Bitcoin token. Yeah, neither me. DeFi plays seems to be it for sure. What's up? XYDHL and the pizza community. We can't forget the pizza boys. Hey, that's how we should reference to the pizza community. The pizza boys. All right? That actually should be like the ordinal collection. Well, then again, they got one out there, Ninja Pizzas, but it's not the Pizza Boys. If NUSD gets traction, this is from Mark once again, on Fractal as the main stable or even one of them, BAMP should do quite well. Yeah, look, stablecoins could be risky, right? We've seen this in the past. Now, I'm not saying this is the case with NUSD and that, but, you know, those were more of the algorithmic ones, okay? So that has much more risk. But I am open to seeing other stablecoins too. Now, I know there was a bit smiley over there that were trying to do this. I haven't seen any late information come out from their camp. I would love to see NUSD. There's also another stablecoin that's pretty much complete right now. It is on L2 though. That's the thing. Now, do they make that somehow on L1? I don't know. Again, there's not much updates coming from these camps. I think the most active one right now is NUSD. They really are. You know, and it's funny because these other stablecoins was known before NUSD, but NUSD seems to be stealing the show there, right? And that's obviously due to large part of, you know, Jack's been on some shows and he's been pretty active here marketing wise, right? Now there's another one called the Satoshi Protocol. Go check them out. Really cool guys. They're from Taiwan. I met them in Hong Kong, and their development is complete. You know, so yeah, I would like to see some options there. Just in case if one doesn't work out the way we intended to, we got others to rely on. Having stablecoin on Bitcoin is massive. What else have we got here? We got Chimpanzee. I'll come back to YouTube Live shortly. Chimpanzee, I'm serious. I want to be your YouTube production assistant. Check email, sir. Okay, I'll give you a check. I know where you're at though, bro. I don't know if we could do this remotely, but we'll try. Yeah, so Aximate says here, Fractal feels like Merlin Chain, but with additional incentives of cadence mining, right? So, very good point there, and I'll say this. Jeff from Merlin Chain is a bad man. And when we say that in the Caribbean, I'm from the Caribbean, bad man means a highly respected individual, okay? Jeff was the first one to actually deploy a new gen Bitcoin layer 2, not the first Bitcoin layer 2, obviously. Lightning, network and Stacks is up there, but I'm talking about the first new gen one, right? Roll up technology, whatever using the whole EVM chains and such, right? And that has to be respected. All of these other Bitcoin layer 2s, which I'm bullish on as well, like BitLayers and whatever else out there, they're not live as yet. What they're telling us in theory sounds very nice, and I'm sure it will work. Maybe, maybe not. But what Jeff did was to press that deploy button, have so much money, assets worth in the billions staked over, okay, to have that in control there in the hardware wallet, right, using Cobalt, that was huge. And he delivered and executed. You know, we want to talk about Tap a little bit. I have to bring this up. I think Benny was saying it's a scam. It's going to be rugged. That wasn't the case, okay? That's besides the point. So he had the balls to do that. That must be respected. And these layer 2s, like the Merlin Chains of the world and those others, B Squared Network, BitLayer, they serve a different purpose. And that purpose is to get traffic off of, like DeFi traffic or trades off of Bitcoin and on there, right? And then bridge back and forth to, in accordance to what you like. And that serves a real purpose. But the difference between Fractal Bitcoin and these other layer 2s, which I love and respect, as I just expressed to you, is they are restoring Bitcoin's core values for the most part. Proof of work. Okay? They're still using mining. Right? They're using the SHA-256 and Bitcoin Core code. They're not using MetaMask wallet. They're using a Bitcoin native wallet, which is a unisat wallet as well. So things seems to be a bit more closer to home, and home is Bitcoin with Fractal Bitcoin, than anything we have ever seen to date, right? I mean, like, well, one could argue for Lightning Network that actually uses Bitcoin, right? And by the way, you guys should know this by now, I do have a Lightning Network node here and a Bitcoin Core node all in one, 2-in-1 with this device that was set up like just over a year ago, I think, in anticipation for certain things on Lightning Network, which was Taproot assets. Doesn't seem like much is happening there. Okay, let me head back over to the YouTube side of things. Junior says, if Fractal will use sats for the gas fee, I believe 1,000 sats, sats listed on Binance, will hit $1 per token. Yeah, so Fractal, it is official, is going to use sats for the Lyra 1 module swap. Okay? What isn't official, though, is it's unclear. I'm led to believe sats now is going to be used also on the Fractal swap. Now, again, if we go back to that website, which I could populate right here for y'all. Okay, this is on the Fractal Bitcoin website. For those who don't know, they do state the Fractal token called FB enables transaction fees. Okay, so what type of transaction fees? I don't know. Is it for the Fractal swap? I don't know. It appears sats will be for both. So sats is super bullish, and this is why sats went up like 86% in the last, whatever it was, 3 weeks. If you weren't paying attention, you probably missed out on that. Francis is always early with the alpha, Tina says. Okay, so Space Cash says, Byzantine General is pretty much the only rune that looks decent. I mean, look, they're trying a prediction market. I mean, there's nothing really groundbreaking. A prediction market. I mean, it's cool, it's nice, it's utility. It's much better than memes. I should say much more interesting than memes. But prediction markets are just a prediction market, right, man? It's not a major technological breakthrough, all right, so to speak. But I do give them credit. I will also say that how, I don't know, man. This Michael guy seems to want to build this programmable runes, right, with RSM. Is it RSM? Yeah, RSM. I think that has potential as well on runes. And, you know, believe it or not, Fractal Bitcoin very well might proliferate runes and make it more sophisticated because it's supporting runes. So you can send your runes tokens over to the bridge, the decentralized bridge, which is very fascinating to me. I'd love to see how all those, you know, moving parts work to make that technology even possible. A decentralized bridge is what they're calling it. You know, you could bridge over your layer 1 assets to Fractal in a decentralized way. I think they're going to make runes better. So when it's all said and done, Fractal might even save runes. One love. CryptoList says Fractal is the next big thing. Okay, what else we got here in the Twitter live chat? This guy's commenting in both. Mark, Francis, is Pizza the best play to ride Fractal, or is there a Fractal token from what I've seen? Pizza's basically it. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I said. I think you missed that. So Fractal does have a token. It's not out just yet. You could argue that Sats is another Fractal token because they mentioned that's going to be used for gas. FB is the official native Fractal Bitcoin token. That is literally Unisat's first token. Like their first real token is Fractal Bitcoin. One could say it's Sats, but it's actually Fractal Bitcoin. That's their token that they made, they created, they're deploying. Sats now was created by some dude and it got minted out by, you know, the vast majority of the crypto community. But Sats then, Unisat then adopted Sats to be their token. But FB is literally Unisat's first token. Okay? And Binance is invested into them. Come on, man. You can't be more bullish than that. You got Unisat, the originals, okay, of tokens on Bitcoin. You got Binance, and you got China. Bro, what more do you want? You know what I mean? Okay. So Pizza, yeah, I mean, look, nothing's disclosed officially about Pizza being used within Fractal or with BRC20 2.0 or anything like that. But one could imagine something might become of that later on. You know, and that's anybody for the taking. I think anybody could pick it up and make a use case out of Pizza. Yeah, so let's see what happens. There's no gas token for Fractal, correct? So it appears to be Sats right now. Although Fractal Bitcoin, as I just showed you in that part of the website, it's being used for transaction fees, but it's not going to be used, I don't think. Originally, I thought it was going to be used for the Fractal swap. It appears that Sats might be for both. But either way, there's use cases for Sats. BRC20 token, not sats as in your Bitcoin. There's use cases for FB, which is Unisat's official first token. What is unclear is, or doesn't look like there's use case, is for pizza right now, but it has a massive community. Okay, what we got here? XYDHL says, it is completely different from Merlin. The underlying mechanism is different. It is not based on EVM, but not Bitcoin native code, but on Bitcoin native code. The story is already sexy at the end. Exactly. Mark says he gets it. Maybe they do an airdrop. Maybe they didn't. Look, maybe they would. Maybe they wouldn't. I got to be dead honest with y'all on this one, on this take here. I hope they don't do an airdrop. Guys, I'll tell you why. The airdrop ruins the token performance moving forward. Again, airdrop sounds sexy. It sounds cute. You're getting free money, yes. But long term, it's not good. You know, on two fronts. Like, look, let's use dog as an example, guys. Come on, let's be honest here. And I'll try to talk to you guys as nice as possible. Okay, come sit on my lap. I'll pat you in the back, tell you everything's going to be okay. But it's not going to be okay with dog. But you know what I mean, right? So, like, look, the airdrops, man, they get disintegrated. They get decimated. Whenever you get anything for free, you're probably going to go cash out on that. And that's a huge sell pressure, a huge dump. Yes, you become a community member, you get that side of the things. But if you're talking about gains, future projections, and performance of a token, there's rarely any airdrop that did well. And you may say, well, look at the market cap. Look where it is. Well, you need to really look at that spread of what market cap it was launched at to what market cap it stands at today. Okay? Now, even if we look at the all these unis. What's the original uni again? Uniswap. Haven't traded there forever. I've visited that website in a long time. But uniswap.org. When they did their uni airdrop, it launched at a high market cap and it barely grew. But yet, you know, today it stands at top, 30, 25 token. You see, well, it did good. Well, what was the launch market cap? It was pretty high. I think it probably did maybe about 5, 6, 7, 8 at most X. And you're like, oh, well, you're complaining about an 8X? But 8X is not newsworthy, right? It's not, oh my God, 8X. 8X is nice, but it's not newsworthy. So when we look at the likes of Dog and other airdrop tokens, they're disintegrated right now. So to my point, I don't want to see, I don't know where this airdrop culture got into Bitcoin. How did it get here? You know, it's not really good for the token, man. It really isn't. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, I guess. If I could preserve a token moving forward in a healthy price discovery, you know, I will choose that over the latter. Okay, another remark here. It's really a great program for live interaction on X, but unfortunately, it's already 2 o'clock in the morning here, brother. I went to bed, brother. Let's talk about it next time we see each other. Okay, all good. No worries. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. What do we got here on YouTube? Sorry, let me see. Anything else? Quant? Which one is Quant, bro? Holy crap, bro. You are from like 2015. Quant. That's old school. Can you invest in Fractal yet, or are they doing some type of sell? Fractal already conducted a pre-sale a long time ago. That's over. And I could imagine the projects going there, just like we took advantage of Merlin and those projects there. We took advantage of BRC20s coming, early to that. You come early to anything that actually means business, you should do okay. Don't worry, I got you covered. If you're lost, no need to fear. Your boy TCL, Francis doing his hair. I'm going to take y'all back to the promised lands, just like I told you guys about BRC20s. Just like I told you, bro. A red flag, that ruins it smell a little funny. Something a little funny about that ruins. But you guys wanted to run the status quo. You guys wanted to go where everybody else was going. That's not how gains are made here in this industry. But I got you locked. I got you covered. As long as you are subscribed to the channel, so you know what. There ain't really much stuff to say other than until the next video. Your ass is on your own, bro. Later. Francis Dhun, Uncensored.